Okay, the Discovery Center is UW Stout's mechanism to bring together the applied research strengths of the university and provide access to the external stakeholders. So it'd be community, it'd be organizations, it would be industry, and it could also be other institutions. And what we do is we concentrate in 4 areas: to advance student learning, to connect our faculty expertise with the external community, to look for solutions for business and industry, and to advance economic development in the region. Basically is that when the Discovery Center was created, we pulled all of the applied research and technology transfer efforts out of the individual colleges and brought them under one unit, with the idea that if you had everybody answering to the same unit, you'd be able to stimulate cross-disciplinary projects. So you wouldn't have issues like lab access, and so if you were an art and design student, how do you get access to equipment in Fricklin, for example? I think by providing students with, the real-world experiences, we try to get as many students as we can involved with projects. That's the reason, really why we want to do the applied projects. It differentiates us in some terms. In some ways, it differentiates us from a typical consulting firm, which we're not interested in being. I mean, we're a university organization, so we really need to stay close to the mission of the university. Faculty is really critical on the projects that we engage in because for the most part what our organization does is facilitates the projects. We manage the projects. We'll go in with meet with the company, try and establish what the company's needs are and what solutions they're working for or looking for. And then we'll take those, we'll take that sort of initial meeting and bring in some faculty expertise in order to scope the program or the project. So we'll scope the project out, determine what's going to be required and what resources we have on campus, or if we need to get resources from another institution, what are those? And by doing that, the faculty is really critical in developing the scope and also in working with us on timelines and deadlines and deliverables. But then they can back out. They're not worried about things like the regular ongoing project management or the communication with the client or the non-disclosures that need to be signed or intellectual property rights or any of those issues that we handle the paperwork on. So we're able to really work on those agreements in ways that frees them up to do their classroom work, frees them up to do their independent research, whatever it is that's attracted them to the project in the first place. I like to see students get relationships with their, develop relationships with their faculty, with their teachers to see what their interests are, and find out what types of research interests your teachers have, because in many cases that's how we end up finding you. The professors are the subject matter experts here, and so as we access faculty, many times they'll pull students along in on the projects. So that's one good way to do it. It's a very good fit. I mean, it's an obvious fit because polytechnics are interested. If you look at the website, we've got the career focus, the applied learning, and the collaboration, and those are 3 things that the Discovery Center is really focused on. In fact, when we drafted the strategic plan for the Discovery Center, it was it relied heavily on those 3 tenets of the Polytechnic University. So it just makes sense that these applied opportunities and these applied projects are extremely important to the Polytechnic designation. Long term, the vision is for us to build, we're pretty new. We've been doing this for about a year, and we did about 70 projects last year with students and faculty. We did an additional 120 projects that were specific to our Manufacturing Outreach Center, so 122 projects. So just over 190 projects. we're a small organization, so we've got capacity constraints, which is a bit of a concern. But ideally, as we build our organization and are able to take on more projects, I think it'd be great to have every student, while they're on campus, to have an applied experience, either an applied research or creative experience while they're here on campus. We would like to facilitate as many of those as possible.